C++ program to find the area of the square, and then rectangle as well as triangle using function overloading. So in order to do so, first we will open up Turbo C++. So what I'll do is I'll click on new. In order to maximize the window, I'll be pressing F5. Now let me write the what does this particular program does. That is, here this particular program is programmed to find the area of a square slash a rectangle and then triangle using function overloading. And I'll close the comment. Now what I'll do is I'll define a class over here, class followed by class name. I'll say function overload, and then I'll be beginning with the braces, followed by I'll declare one variable called as s, which is a float, and then in the public part I'll be having three member functions. The return type for this member function is double, so I'll just say area, and then we'll say I'll be passing a value called as a, and after that I'll be beginning with return a into a, and then I'll be closing this. Now again I'll be using one more member function. The return type is double, and then again I'll say area only. Over here you have to understand that this function overloading is the member function name will be the same, but the parameters or the arguments that is passed over here will be different. Based on its argument, the corresponding member function would be called. So here I'll say double L comma double B, and then I'll be closing this, and within this I have to write the code. So I'll say return what is it, where length into breadth, and after that I'll close this. So now what we'll do, now we have to write one more member function. I'll say double, and then I'll say again area, because since it is function overloading, so here I'll be passing three values, double A, double B, and then double C. These are the three values that I'll be passing, and within this I'll be writing the code s is equal to a plus b plus c whole thing divided by 2. So this is the formula to calculate s, and then I have to return the area. Over here I have made a mistake in typing, this is the, so okay, now coming back to here, I'll say return square root of s into s minus of a, and then into s minus of b into, and then s minus of c into I'll say s minus of c, and after that I'll close this bracket, and again I'll close this, again I'll close this. So therefore, now what I'll do, I'll close the statement by putting a semicolon. Now what I'll do is I'll close the class function. Now what I'll do, I'll start with the main code. Now I need to create an object, and then based on its input I need to call the member functions. So for that I'll be using CLR ACR in order to clear the screen, and in addition to that I'll be declaring three different variables, that is x, y, z, and then I'll be putting a semicolon. Again I'll be declaring one more variable called as ans. Now I have to create the object, so therefore I'll say function overload, and then followed by the object. I'll say f1, and then I'll be adding that statement. Now I'll say cout, and within this I'll say enter the number of sites. So that is 1, 2, 3. And then I'll be closing this. I'll close this particular statement like this, and then I'll say cn ans. So based on the input, either you will be calling or you will be providing one input to the member function, or you will be giving two inputs to the member function, and you will be giving the three input to the member function. Based on it, we have to write the code for this. Suppose if your answer ans is equal to 1, so then what I have to do, I will display this statement cout, enter the site. So within double quotes I'll say enter the site, and after that I'll close this, and over here I'll be getting the input from the user, and this would be x, and then I'll again display the statement cout. Within this I'll say area of the square is equal to, I'll close this, and after that I'll be calling, I'll be using this function f1 to call the area member function, that is f1 dot area of x, and then I'll be introducing one more blank line to get into the next one. If that is not the case, so what I'll do, I'll come back, and the second option I have to check out, so therefore I'll use the else statement. If your answer is equal to 2, so then I have to do something. So within this I'll say I have to give two values, so therefore I'll say cout. Here I'll say enter the two sides, or I'll just say enter two sides, and then I'll close this. I have to read the values, so therefore I'll say cn x and then y. So now what I'll do, I have to again call the this thing, that is the member function. So here I'll say area of the rectangle, and here is equal to, I'll call the function name, so therefore I'll say f1 dot area, but I'll be supplying the parameters, two parameters, x and y. And after that again what I'll do, I'll introduce one more line over here. So therefore here this particular answer 2 is finished. Now what I'll do, I have to call the third mem function. So therefore here you can see that area is common name. Area is common name over here, but here we are supplying one parameter, and here we are supplying two parameters. Similarly, the third one will be working for. So if again answer is equal to 3, so then what I have to do, so within this I have to write certain codes. Let us see out. Enter 3 sites. Here what I need to do is I need to enter 3 sites. Within double quotes I'll say enter 3 sites, and after that I'll close this statement. I have to read the values from the user. So in order to read, I'll use cin function, and I'll say xyz. So here I'll say x, y, and then z. So now what I'll do, I'll just display the values cout, and here I'll say area of a triangle, and is equal to, I'll close the double quote, and within this I'll use again I need to call the, using the object I need to call the member function. I'll say f1 dot area, and within this I'll be supplying 3 parameters that I have received from the user, x, y, z, and then I'll introduce one more blank line to go to the next line. So this is the code that we have done. Of course we can, if otherwise just display invalid option. So means to say there are only 3 member functions. If you supply apart from 1, 2, 3, and if you supply 4, 5, something like this, then it should display an invalid statement or invalid input. I'll say invalid input, and then I'll close this and I'll end this particular statement. Now what I need to do is I need to save this particular file. I'll say fun overload or over or member overload, and I'll say okay. Now what I'll do, I'll say F9. Of course we do have errors, so square root should have a member, what is it, header file. So here we haven't included any header file, so therefore what I need to do is I need to include all those header files. So here I'll say hash include iostream .h, and then I'll be using hash include conio.h, and since I've used a square root, I should be including hash include complex.h, and after that I'll save this and then press F9 to check again if there are any errors. Now again still there are there, so therefore again let me come over here. We need to include one more header file, hash include std lib.h, and after that I'll say F9. Yeah, over here it is sqrt, and then I'll say F9. Yeah, we need to close this over here. Now the the program is clear of errors, so therefore what I'll say control F9. So here what I'll do, I have to run 4 cases, so therefore I'll give 1 and then enter the site. I'll be giving it as 4.5, and then I'll enter. So again I'll say yes. In order to see the output, I'll say alt F5. So you can see that it is 20.5, and it is also giving me that it is invalid input. So therefore we need to debug the program. Yeah, so means to say here we have forgotten to give else. I'll save this and again I'll press Ctrl F9. One important thing that you need to do is you need to go by logic. I'll give the same output, input, that is 4.5, and then press enter. I'll say yes and then Alt F5. You can see over here the area of the square is 20.25. Now what I'll do, I'll again press Ctrl F9, and now I'll be giving the second input. So means to say I need to enter two sides. So the two sides that I'll enter is 2.3 and then 2.75. Any number you can enter. So here again to see the output I'll say Alt F5. So you'll get the result as 6.325. Now what I'll do, I have to give the third input, or the third, I have to check the third option. So therefore I'll say 3. Now I have to give 3 values over here. I'll say 2.1 and then 3.1 and then 4.1, and I'll say enter. Now in order to see the output I'll say Alt F5. You can see that the area of the triangle is this value. Now I have to run again one more time. Why? Because if I give an invalid choice like 5, so then it should give me that it is invalid, so or invalid input. So this is how what you will do is you will write a program wherein which the member functions are overloaded. The concept over is very clear. Means to say the member function name over here, you can see that area is the same, here also the area is the same, and here also the area is the same. But the C++ coding, what it does is it differentiates these things based on its input. Here you have only one input, here you have two inputs, and here you do have three inputs. So this is the concept that we use in function overloading, and this is called as function overloading. Why? Because the function name is the same, but they are different when they are called based on the parameters. Thank you.